Epstein tried to build a web of powerful ties across Middle East documents. Iran Foreign Minister says, progress made in nuclear talks with US in Geneva. Canada launches huge defense plan to curb reliance on US. Nordic region seeks deeper ties with Greenland after Trump threats. US lawmaker fine criticized by rights advocates, Democrats after anti-Muslim remarks. The chief executive of Dubai port operator DP World has stepped down following revelations in newly released US Justice Department files linked to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, marking the most significant fallout in the Middle East from the disclosures. DP World said on Friday that Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem resigned as chief executive and chairman. Two sources told Reuters the decision followed scrutiny of his past correspondence with Epstein after his name appeared in the released files. Emails reviewed by Reuters show bin Sulayem and Epstein exchanged personal messages in the mid-2000s, including references to meetings with women Epstein helped introduce. There is no allegation of criminal wrongdoing against bin Sulayem, and being named in the files does not imply illegal activity. Dubai's ruler also issued a decree appointing a new chairman to Dubai's Ports, Customs and Free Zone Corporation, one of several senior roles held by bin Sulayem. The disclosures prompted concern among major investors. The UK development finance agency British International Investment and Canadian pension fund LACAY said last week they would suspend new investments with DP World pending clarification and action by the company. The resignation of the chief executive of Dubai port operator DP World marks the most significant Middle East fallout so far from newly released US Justice Department documents linked to disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein. DP World said on Friday that Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem stepped down as chief executive and chairman. Two sources told Reuters that the move followed increased scrutiny after bin Sulayem's name appeared in the so-called Epstein files. The documents include personal correspondence between Epstein and bin Sulayem from the mid-2000s, discussing social interactions and introductions arranged by Epstein. There are no allegations of criminal wrongdoing against bin Sulayem, and being named in the files does not imply illegal activity. Dubai's ruler also issued a decree appointing a new chairman to the Ports, Customs and Free Zone Corporation, one of several senior posts previously held by bin Sulayem. Reuters said it was unable to determine precisely what triggered the resignation, though sources indicated it was linked to the disclosures. Bin Sulayem did not respond to requests for comment, and DP World declined to comment further. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney has unveiled a multi-billion-dollar defense plan aimed at strengthening Canada's military and reducing reliance on the United States. Announcing Canada's first-ever defense industrial strategy on Tuesday, Carney said the country can no longer depend on geography or US protection in a more dangerous global environment. "We've relied too heavily on others to protect us," Carney said, adding that this has created vulnerabilities Canada can no longer afford. The strategy, valued at more than $500 billion Canadian dollars, includes $180 billion in defense procurement and $290 billion in defense-related public investment over the next decade. It focuses on expanding military capabilities on land, at sea, and in the air, while boosting domestic defense production. Carney's remarks reflect growing tension with Washington under Donald Trump, whose policies have strained traditional alliances. Carney has emerged as a leading critic of Trump, warning last month that the US president had disrupted the global rules-based order. He also indirectly criticized comments made by US Secretary of State Marco Rubio at the Munich Security Conference, where Rubio described Western civilization as rooted in Christian identity. Carney responded by emphasizing that Canadian nationalism is civic, inclusive, and based on protecting the rights of all citizens. Nordic government ministers will meet in Denmark on Wednesday to discuss giving Greenland and two other autonomous territories equal status within a key regional cooperation forum, following renewed geopolitical tensions over the Arctic. The talks come after Donald Trump pushed for greater US control over Greenland, a move firmly rejected by Denmark and its European allies. Copenhagen has since held discussions with Greenland and Washington to ease the diplomatic standoff. Ministers will focus on updating the Helsinki Treaty, a 1962 agreement between Finland, Sweden, Denmark, Iceland, and Norway. The proposed changes would grant full participation rights to Greenland, the Faroe Islands, and Finland's Åland Islands. For decades, the autonomous territories have sought equal standing in Nordic cooperation, but have often been excluded from security-related discussions, including talks on the war in Ukraine. Greenland's government boycotted the forum in 2024 over the issue. This would be a historic step and a future-proofing of Nordic cooperation, said Denmark's Minister for Nordic Cooperation Morten Dahlin. Greenland's Foreign Minister Vivian Motzfeldt said the island would play an active role in drafting the proposed changes, calling the process decisive for Greenland's recognition as an equal partner. Rights groups and Democratic leaders have condemned Randy Fine, a Republican lawmaker from Florida, over anti-Muslim remarks he posted on social media. In a message shared on X on Sunday, Fine wrote that the choice between dogs and Muslims is not a difficult one. The post drew widespread backlash and had more than 40 million views by Tuesday. Fine rejected the criticism and doubled down on his comments online. The Council on American Islamic Relations previously designated him an anti-Muslim extremist. Several prominent Democrats called for accountability. California Governor Gavin Newsom urged Fine to resign, while House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries described the remarks as Islamophobic, disgusting, and unrepentant. Democratic Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez said ignoring such comments would normalize hate and called on Republicans, who control Congress, to take action. Fine has previously faced criticism for comments advocating the expulsion of Muslims from the United States, labeling Muslims as terrorists, and mocking Palestinian suffering during the Gaza war.